Musonius Rufus was a Greek philosopher who lived in the 1st century AD, and prominent figure in the Stoic school of philosophy. He is remembered for his emphasis on the importance of living a simple and virtuous life, and his teachings continue to inspire philosophers and thinkers today. Here are some of his famous quotes. "You will earn the respect of all if you begin by earning the respect of yourself. Don't expect to encourage good deeds in people conscious of your own misdeeds. Wealth is able to buy the pleasures of eating, drinking, and other sensual pursuits, yet it can never afford a cheerful spirit or freedom from sorrow. If we were to measure what is good by how much pleasure it brings, nothing would be better than self-control. If we were to measure what is to be avoided by its pain, nothing would be more painful than a lack of self-control. We begin to lose our hesitation to do immoral things when we lose our hesitation to speak of them. To accept injury without a spirit of savage resentment, to show ourselves merciful toward those who wrong us, being a source of good hope to them, is characteristic of a benevolent and civilized way of life. Humanity must seek what is not simple and obvious, using the simple and obvious. Others have been in poor health from overindulgence and high living, before exile has provided strength, forcing them to live a more vigorous life. We will train both soul and body when we accustom ourselves to cold, heat, thirst, hunger, scarcity of food, hardness of bed, abstaining from pleasures, and enduring pain. What good are gilded rooms or precious stones fitted on the floor, inlaid in the walls, carried from great distances at the greatest expense? These things are pointless and unnecessary. Without them, is it possible to live a healthy? Aren't they the source of constant trouble? Don't they cost vast sums of money that, through public and private charity, may have benefited many? Generally speaking, if you devote yourself to the life of philosophy while tilling the land at the same time, I couldn't compare it to any other way of life, nor would I prefer any other livelihood. It is living more in accord with nature, drawing your sustenance directly from the earth, the nurse and mother of us all, rather than from another source. For mankind, evil is injustice and cruelty and indifference to a neighbor's trouble, while virtue is brotherly love and goodness, justice and beneficence, and concern for the welfare of your neighbor with. Since I say that this is the case, the person who is practicing to become a philosopher must seek to overcome himself so that he won't welcome pleasure and avoid pain, so that he won't love living and fear death, and so that, in the case of money, he won't honor receiving over giving. Only by exhibiting actions in harmony with the sound words which he has received will anyone be helped by philosophy. Won't we, therefore, be willing to endure pain in order to gain complete happiness? For what does the man who accepts insult do that is wrong? It is the doer of wrong who puts themselves to shame. The sensible man wouldn't go to the law, since he wouldn't even consider that he had been insulted. Besides, to be annoyed or angered about such things would be petty instead. Easily and silently bear what has happened, since this is appropriate for those whose purpose is to be noble-minded. Thus it appears that exile helps rather than hinders body and spirit by treating them better than they treat themselves. And this, according to Musonius, should be one of the primary objectives of philosophy, to reveal to us our shortcomings so we can overcome them and thereby live a good life. For obviously the philosopher's body should be well prepared for physical activity, because often the virtues make use of this as a necessary instrument for the affairs of life. Don't expect to tell others what they should do when they know that you do what you shouldn't.